here we are. I'm gonna pretend and practice like I'm doing a podcast, even though this microphone is covered in dog hair. But I'm gonna start this podcast as a YouTube video, and then I might try to trim the YouTube video to make it a podcast. And then when I figure out the microphones, I'll just record on here so that I can do both. But welcome to You Must Really Like. This is a podcast that I wanted to start because of a couple things. Okay. So a little bit of background about why I wanted to start this podcast is it all kind of stemmed from a conversation at work, and I think everyone wants to start a podcast. I'm not a scientist, but tell me I'm wrong. So the reason I wanted to start this podcast was for a few reasons. I kept realizing that whenever I would talk, I would sound like somebody else, or like traits in my conversations or thoughts that I would have all came from other people. And I was like, I'm my own person. I should put on this earth for a reason. I should probably think and use my own brain to come up with my own ideas and my own thoughts. And I just realized how unoriginal the whole world is. And I'm one of the worst, most unoriginal people in the world. So I'll probably sound like everybody else, but as will you. And so I hope this inspires you to help you find your voice. The name came from a coworker as well. He would be honored to know that he's on a podcast. But we were having a conversation at work about wanting to start a podcast because me and my best friend and coworker are both starting podcasts together and on this journey together and stuff. And so we were talking about it and what we wanted to start a podcast, and his first comment was, I just gave it away. It was a boy. But he looked like he was like looking at us in a voice chat because I work from home. And he's like, I feel like people that start podcasts just really like the sound of your own voice. And I was like, I hate the sound of my own voice, but I get what you're saying. So I'm gonna name my podcast You Must Really Like, and then the second half is the sound of your own voice. So that's just kind of like a little joke, and it kind of pissed me off when he said it, because anyone who has an ego wants to think it's not because of themselves that they want to do something, it's for the betterment of other people. But at the end of the day, I also wanted to do this because I'm in a place in life, I'm 15 weeks pregnant, and I just feel like all of my friends are going out and doing fun things, and I have no reason to get ready other than for my work from home job. Not a reason to get ready. Could be, but not. And then I don't know, I just don't do much for myself, and I also don't do much for other people. So I feel like this is something that, one, I could do for myself to get ready. Two, I could do for other people because I think it's so valuable hearing other people's life stories. So anyways, cut to the chase. The reason for the podcast is to help you get the sound of your own voice, to get some ideas of stuff you really like, just because I think sharing things that we authentically like is really important. And it's just fun. Girl talk is light and fun, and I love listening to podcasts that are light and fun, but I also like the seriousness and depth of some other podcasts. So I wanted to bring two different parts. And so in this podcast, you can picture happening or expect to happen is there's going to be kind of a main segment. It'll either be with a guest or just with me on something I have thoughts on, or like advice I want to give to people that I wish I would have known, or it'll be with a guest who will be sharing a little bit about their testimony, their story. You should know I'm non-denominational Christian, and so a lot of this will be their testimony, but I also want to hear from people who aren't Christian and just how they came to their beliefs, because I think it's so fascinating how everyone comes to their own thought process, and at the core we all believe in something, or we don't believe in something, and that's still believing in something. Anyways, so I'm excited to hear everybody's life story and what they think, and also have my own thoughts, and see if I can help people with hearing those stories, because I think as incredible as hearing stories about celebrities is, I think sometimes we lose the idea of people that are just like us, that have incredible stories as well, that are also so relatable. And sometimes the idea of being just a rich person that can go buy a Tesla and live in a house that, you know, with a bunch of friends doesn't seem relatable in this time that we currently live in. And so I wanted to give just something that's a little bit inspiring, but also relatable, because I think that's something that we need right now. So that, and then there'll also be a segment about things that I've been really liking. If I have a guest, we'll also do that segment with that person. So I'll just share whether it's a book or food or a dog treat. You'll hear my dogs, I'm sure, throughout this podcast. I have two dogs, Kona and Simba, and By the way, my name is Sage. I can't wait to hear your guys' feedback and get to know more about what you want to hear, but also just share with you some things that I've already thought of. And you can check me out on Mondays. Never miss another Monday. And I hope that you'll listen to me while you're at the gym or on your drive or just when you're lonely, because sometimes it's nice to hear someone's voice. So catch me on You Must Really Like.